There are 5 main reaction types, as well as a few other secondary reaction types. Let's go through them one by one. A synthesis reaction, also known as a combination reaction, involves 2 or more chemical species combining to form a more complex product. Examples would be iron reacting with oxygen to form iron 2 oxide, or carbon dioxide and water forming glucose and oxygen in the process of photosynthesis. Let's take a quick look at a very simple synthesis reaction, reacting hydrogen with oxygen to produce water. Now, water is not a complex product, but it is more complex than the reactants. A decomposition reaction involves a single reactant compound being broken into smaller chemical species. Examples would be the opposite of what we just saw. Starting with water and breaking it down into hydrogen and oxygen, you can do this quite easily by passing electricity through water. Another example would be the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. Let's take a look at the catalyzed version of that reaction now. And a different decomposition reaction, that of nitrogen triiodide decomposing to nitrogen, iodine, and ammonium iodide. Nitrogen triiodide is often called touch powder. You'll see why. And the reaction is very fast. With a single displacement reaction, also known as a substitution reaction, a pure element switches places with an element in a chemical compound. In these examples, you can see that first the chlorine replaces the iodine, and in the second example, the copper replaces the silver. In these photos, we have a solution of acidified copper 2 sulfate. Zinc metal was added, which displaced the copper out of solution, forming solid copper on the bottom, and the solution lost the blue color. That was from the copper 2 ions in solution. When they were removed from the solution became colorless. With a double displacement reaction, also known as a metathesis reaction, cations of 2 chemical compounds switch places. In these examples, the hydrogen has switched with the silver, and in the second example, the hydrogen has switched places with the sodium. Here's a short video of potassium iodide reacting with lead 2 nitrate. The potassium ion and the lead 2 ions switched places, giving us potassium nitrate and lead 2 iodide. The last of the main reaction types is combustion reactions. Here, a fuel reacts with oxygen in an exothermic reaction, and heat and light are produced. With complete combustion of a hydrocarbon, carbon dioxide and water are produced. Examples would be methane combusting in oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water, or the very similar decane reacting with oxygen to give the same products. This video shows the combustion of ethine. This reaction is incomplete combustion, so lots of soot is produced.
All right, we're live.
Oh, it's a big one!
Watch, don't run away from it.
Okay, Kim. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Here, candle wax is combusted as a completing the fire triangle demonstration. And here we see the combustion of flour, which most people wouldn't think burns very well, but flour dust does. You will learn all about that when you cover reaction kinetics. As far as secondary reaction types go, the first one we'll mention is neutralisation, also known as acid-base reaction. In this reaction, an acid and a base react with each other to form neutral products. Here are some students performing neutralisation reactions as part of a titration for volumetric analysis. With a precipitation reaction, an ionic compound comes out of solution and forms an insoluble solid. This video is the same we saw earlier for the metathesis reaction. Lead nitrate and potassium iodide were both aqueous solutions, but the lead 2 iodide formed as a yellow solid. It precipitated out of solution. A hydrolysis reaction is one that involves water as a reactant. Let's take a look at potassium reacting with water. A dehydration reaction, also known as a condensation reaction, is one that includes water as a product. An example would be the joining of 2 glucose molecules to form sucrose and water. Another example would be combining 2 nucleotides in the polymerization of DNA. In this next video, we'll look at the dehydration of a carbohydrate, sugar in this case, dehydrated with concentrated sulfuric acid. So we're dehydrating a carbohydrate, leaving us with just the carbon. A redox reaction is any reaction in which elements experience a change in oxidation state due to the transfer of electrons. Redox is short for reduction and oxidation. I've always remembered that Leo goes grr. Loss of electrons is oxidation, gain of electrons is reduction. But maybe that's because I'm a Leo. Or maybe it's just because lines are awesome. When I moved to Australia, I noticed people tend to think of oil rig. Oxidation is loss of electrons, and reduction is gain of electrons. Anyway, here are 2 redox reactions. The first is glycerol reacting with potassium permanganate. The glycerol gets violently oxidized.
Making a face. Oh, it's making a pig. It's indeed.
In the second video, the sugars of a jelly baby are oxidized when it reacts with heated potassium chlorate. And finally, organic reactions. These occur between organic molecules with reaction characteristics determined by certain functional groups of atoms that react in predictable ways. Well, that's the video done. If you liked it, brilliant. Hit the like button and leave me a comment too. Now you know what to do. Go hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.